Hi everybody, real quick, I just wanted to show you how I changed my thermostat. I had a programmable thermostat in this house and I changed it to a non-programmable thermostat. So the first thing I'll point out is that when you take off your old thermostat, you want to make sure that you pay attention to where the wires are hooked up, and so that you can put your new thermostat in correctly. I actually made a note here of where my wires were pointed. One thing I really want to make note of is that typically in the Y location here, it's typically a yellow wire. In my case, it was a blue wire. So just pay attention to that, because your wires may not be the same colors and may not match these symbols by color. The other thing to point out about this HoneyWell thermostat that I put in is there's a setting for whether you have an electric or a fuel heating system. So E for electric, F for fuel. Well, mine is a gas furnace, so I have it set on F for fuel. The other thing to point out is that this red wire, which you can see here, powers both the furnace and the air conditioner, has to be connected to both of these. It's kind of hard to see here. Let me tilt this. There's an R and an RC connector there. And so in order for that one red wire to power both of them, you have to use a jumper like this to be able to power both of those settings using the one wire. And you can see the wires tucked under that jumper there. And I just want to point out that when you install that jumper, you want to make sure to hold that in very securely while you're screwing in those connectors there. Otherwise, if you see here, we have green is G, that's the fan. White is W, and that's the control for the heat. And so you can see here I have G up here, that's where my green wire is plugged in, and W here, that's where my white wire is plugged in. Now the one confusing connection is this B, and I will refer to another document that I have that states that I found. Down here in point 2, it says, do not connect both O and B if you have a heat pump. Connect only O, the O wire, wrap B wire with an electrical tape, and do not use. But in my case, I do not need that B wire because I don't have a unit that would require a heat pump or other things that would require that B. So, and also it says over here when I'm looking at my particular thermostat, it says do not use C, X, or B on the bottom row there. So that one is not used, and so I didn't worry about that. So that's it for that part. So there you have it. That's how you would install a non-programmable thermostat. The one thing I will make note that I don't particularly like is that how the wires come through this center hole. You really have to tuck those in very carefully, because when you put the cover on, which I can show you, the cover has these little pins that then have to fit right into these little black pinholes there. So you just have to make sure to get that tightly in there. Don't force it on there, because you don't want to bend these pins or break these plastic connections there. So there you have it. That's how I installed my thermostat.